I'm Dr. Frita, and today we're talking bad cholesterol. I'm giving you 10 quick ways to improve your cholesterol numbers. Now, why should you even care about improving your cholesterol numbers? Well, because if you have high cholesterol, it can lead to clogged arteries, which can then lead to heart attacks, strokes, poor circulation. So we want to lower the bad cholesterol. Now, cholesterol is not all bad. In fact, we actually need some cholesterol to survive. Cholesterol helps us to make certain hormones like testosterone, as well as estrogen. It also helps us to make cell membranes and to produce vitamin D. But when you have excessive bad cholesterol, that's when you get the bad news. Now, if you've been told in the past that you have high cholesterol, your physician has probably talked to you about medications, and we do have excellent medications for lowering cholesterol. But guess what? We also have excellent lifestyle modifications that can help you to lower your cholesterol as well. And that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about bad cholesterol, and I'm giving you 10 quick ways to improve your cholesterol numbers. Keep watching. Be sure to purchase my book, Under Pressure, A Guide to Controlling High Blood Pressure. In this book, I talk about, yes, traditional ways to manage blood pressure, like with medications, but I also talk about natural, holistic remedies and lifestyle modifications. It's an integrative book. It's a great read. Under Pressure, A Guide to Controlling High Blood Pressure. I'm Dr. Frita, an MD who has been triple board certified, and today we're talking about bad cholesterol and how to lower it. Now, you've heard about the different types of cholesterol: good cholesterol, bad cholesterol, LDL, HDL. So let's talk about what these numbers mean. Now, there is something that we consider a good cholesterol, and that is the HDL, high density lipoprotein. And remember, H for high. We want the HDL to be high because it's actually good. Consult with your physician to find out what your number should be, but certainly if the number is greater than 60 for your HDL, that's wonderful. But the range could be anywhere from 35 to 80 even, but we want the HDL to be high. That's a good cholesterol. And then we have the bad cholesterol. You're probably familiar with LDL, low density lipoprotein. Remember, L for low. We want the LDL to be low because it's bad. If it's high, it can cause inflammation. It can cause high cholesterol that sticks to your blood vessels and causes heart disease. Again, you want to consult with your physician to find out your target LDL number, but less than 100 milligrams per deciliter is one of the common goals for an LDL. We want it to be low. There are other bad cholesterols that we want to be low, such as VLDL, or very low density lipoprotein, or IDL, intermediate density lipoprotein, also triglycerides. We want all of these to be low. You see, cholesterol is this waxy, fatty material that floats around in your blood vessels when it's in excess. And if it combines with inflammatory cells and platelets and calcium, and it binds to an inflamed blood vessel, well, then it can cause an atheroma, or it can cause a plaque that can lead to an occlusion or a blockage of the blood vessel. So what happens if you get a cholesterol-laden plaque in your heart artery? Well, it could lead to a heart attack. If you get it in a brain artery or a brain vessel, it can lead to a stroke. If you get it in arteries that supply your legs and help with your circulation, you can get a poor circulation. So it is very important to have proper cholesterol numbers, and you want to lower the bad cholesterols. So let's talk about it. Here are 10 quick ways to improve your cholesterol numbers. Tip 1. Eat a heart-healthy diet. In order to improve your cholesterol numbers, you want to eat a diet that's high in soluble fiber, high in antioxidants, high in minerals, high in omega-3 fatty acids. You want to eat foods that are going to help you to absorb the bad cholesterol while maintaining the good cholesterol. You also want to avoid eating certain foods. You want to avoid saturated fats and avoid trans fats. So let's start with the foods you want to avoid in order to improve your cholesterol numbers. You want to avoid fried foods, okay? You want to avoid French fries, fried chicken, fried fish. You want to avoid commercially baked goods like cookies and cakes and pies. You also want to avoid cooking with shortening, okay? You want to avoid cooking with oils that are solid at room temperature. Now let's talk about some of the heart-healthy foods that you actually want to incorporate in your diet when trying to improve your cholesterol number. Again, you want to eat foods that are high in fiber, high in antioxidants. So you want to eat Chia seeds, those are loaded with antioxidants, so they're anti-inflammatory and good for absorbing cholesterol. You also want to eat leafy green vegetables like the cruciferous vegetables, cabbage, broccoli, kale, Brussels sprouts, all good for helping to lower your cholesterol. Other healthy choices are berries like blackberries, raspberries, bananas. You want to eat avocados, oats, and you want to cook with oils that are liquid at room temperature, like extra virgin olive oil. I say extra virgin olive oil because that means that it's processed less and you have more of the antioxidants. Tip 2, reduce saturated fats and the trans fats in your diet. Now first, let me just let you know, fat does have its place. It's not all bad. We need fat to help to protect our organs, and we need fat in our bodies to help us to regulate body temperature, but we don't need excess fat. And when it comes to food, fat in the food can actually, improve the texture or even enhance the flavor in some cases. But now let's talk about the bad fat that you eat. That's the trans fats and the saturated fats. Now, the trans fats come mostly from partially hydrogenated oil, and trans fats increase bad cholesterol. They increase the LDL. Saturated fats also increase your bad cholesterol, so you want to avoid eating trans fats and saturated fats. One helpful way to identify saturated fats is to use the acronym SAT. If the fat is solid at room temperature, if it comes from an animal source like red meat, or if it's one of the tropical oils like coconut oil or palm oil, then it's likely a saturated fat and it can increase your bad cholesterol. You want to avoid it. Now let's talk about some of the fats that you should be eating in order to improve your cholesterol numbers. You want to eat the unsaturated fats, like the monounsaturated fats as well as the polyunsaturated fats, because these actually help you to improve your cholesterol numbers. Some examples of monounsaturated fats include oils like olive oil, sesame oil, peanut oil, avocado oil. Also, peanut butter and many nuts and seeds are examples of monounsaturated fats. Some polyunsaturated fats include things like soybeans, tofu, sunflower seeds, also omega-3 fatty acids. Fatty fish has a lot of polyunsaturated fats. Chia seeds and flax seeds have polyunsaturated fats as well. These are good. These help you to improve your cholesterol numbers. Here are some healthy tips on how to switch out bad fats for good fats. When you are cooking, make sure you cook with oils that are liquid at room temperature. Remember, the monounsaturated fats and the polyunsaturated fats, these tend to be liquid at room temperature as opposed to those trans fats and saturated fats, which are solid at room temperature. Also, you want to perhaps add flaxseed. Add flaxseed to your yogurt. Add flaxseed to your salads. Make sure you snack on nuts that have some of these healthy fats in them. And avoid like really creamy dressings and make your own dressing. Use vinegar, use olive oil, use garlic, things of that nature in order to avoid some of these bad fats. Tip 3, increase soluble fiber in your diet. And yes, there are foods that have soluble fiber. I'll give you some examples. Also, when you're picking up maybe some fiber supplements or you're just eating a food and you're not quite sure, take a look at the label if it's labeled, and it will tell you how many grams of soluble fiber it has. Soluble fiber helps you to absorb that bad cholesterol like LDL, while still allowing you to maintain your good cholesterol like HDL. Some examples of foods with high soluble fiber include bran, flax seeds, oats, beans, also raspberries, blackberries, bananas. Tip 4, regular exercise. You know you want to exercise. When you exercise, that helps you to maintain a healthy weight. And we know that being overweight or living with obesity puts you at higher risk for high cholesterol. So exercise. According to the American Heart Association, most adults should be exercising for at least 150 minutes per week. So that's about 30 minutes a day for at least 5 days a week. Consult with your physician before starting an exercise program. You may be someone who likes HIIT training or high intensity training, and that may be something that helps you. Also, walking or swimming. And you don't have to always be going to a gym. You can even choose to use the stairs instead of using the elevator. You can walk around your neighborhood, but definitely exercising is another tip for maintaining good cholesterol numbers. Tip 5, maintain a healthy weight. Again, if you are a person who is living with obesity, that will increase your risk for having a high cholesterol and consequently having clogged arteries, increasing your risk for heart disease, strokes, poor circulation. So in addition to the exercise we mentioned, you also want to make sure that you have a healthy diet that is high in protein, high in green leafy vegetables, high in fruits and vegetables, and that you eat the calories that are appropriate for your body. Be sure to consult with your physician to find out what weight is a healthy weight for you. Now, historically, we have used BMI as a determinant on whether or not a person was overweight or living with obesity. But there are also other ways to determine your healthy weight, like body composition. Be sure to consult with your physician and to find out various ways to help you to reach your weight goals so that you can have good cholesterol numbers. Be sure to watch my video on Ozempic for weight loss. Is it the ultimate holy grail or just a risky gamble? After you finish watching this video. Tip 6, quit smoking. Just please quit smoking cigarettes. If you look at practically all disease processes and then you scroll down and you find out the risk factors, you will find that smoking cigarettes is on just about everyone's list. Smoking cigarettes is a risk for heart disease. Smoking cigarettes is a risk for lung disease. Smoking cigarettes is a risk for lung cancer. Smoking cigarettes is a risk for cervical cancer. And yes, smoking cigarettes is a risk for having high levels of bad cholesterol. So you want to quit. Cigarettes actually increase the inflammation within your blood vessels. And when you have high cholesterol, it loves sticking to inflamed blood vessels. So yes, having the cigarette smoke and having the inflamed blood vessels will put you at a higher risk for having these atheromas or these atherosclerotic plaques, which can lead to clogged arteries and cardiovascular disease. Quite honestly, nicotine addiction is very, very strong. There is a center in the brain that make it physiologically very difficult to quit smoking when you have that physical addiction as well as a psychological condition. So I recognize that it's not easy, but there are different counseling processes. There's even certain medications that can help, nicotine patches. Make sure you consult with your physician because you definitely want to stop smoking cigarettes in order to improve your cholesterol numbers. Tip 7, limit alcohol consumption. Limit your alcohol consumption. And yes, when it comes to high cholesterol, sometimes you can blame it on the alcohol. It's for real. Now, I know that alcohol is associated with just about every social event, every festive event, but when drinking alcohol in excess, especially if you're binge drinking or drinking daily, or if you're exceeding the recommended amounts for what's considered a safe amount of alcohol consumption, this can increase your risk for high cholesterol and ultimately cardiovascular disease. In order to learn the recommended amounts of alcohol and ways that you can safely limit your alcohol consumption, be sure to watch my video on the dark side of alcohol after you finish watching this video. Tip 8, use plant sterols and stanols. Now, plant sterols and stanols have an especially interesting role. These are compounds that are naturally occurring in plant-based foods, and they actually look and act like cholesterol. But if you eat these plant-based foods that are high in plant sterols and stanols, they can actually help you to lower your bad cholesterol. Some foods that are high in plant sterols and stanols that you should definitely incorporate in your diet to help to improve your cholesterol numbers include broccoli, red onions, carrots, corn, spinach. Tip 9, consider omega-3 fatty acids. Yes, omega-3 fatty acids have been associated with lowering bad cholesterol. They help to absorb the bad cholesterol, they help to decrease inflammation in your blood vessels, and they help you to get better cholesterol numbers. Again, foods that are high in omega-3 fatty acids include fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, sardines. Also, nuts can be loaded with omega-3 fatty acids. Tip 10, manage your stress and get proper sleep. Now, of all of the tips I've given you on improving your cholesterol numbers, many of you will find this one the most challenging because there's stress coming from everywhere, from the left, from the right, from school, from the news, from, world events. We always have some type of stress, right? So how do you manage it? Well, one thing you can do is learn to control what you can control. And for the things that are completely out of your control, don't spend your time worrying about them and stressing out, because when you stress out about things that you can't change anyway, that increases your stress hormones like cortisol, adrenaline. It causes a tightening of the blood vessels. It can lead to increased inflammation in your body, and ultimately, it's not good for your cholesterol. Also, you want to get proper sleep. Most people require anywhere from 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night. You want to make sure you consult with your physician to find out what sleep is appropriate for you. But when you get sleep, that is restorative, not just restorative for your body, but also restorative for your mind. And it's good for your overall health. Now, here are some tips for reducing your stress, in addition to not worrying about those things that you can't do anything about. You want to meditate. And meditation does not mean just sitting in a corner and being quiet while you think about your things to do list or you think about a funny joke that you heard. No, meditation means clearing your mind and really getting yourself in a place where you have peace and where you are okay with just being still, okay? Also, doing things like yoga can help. Practicing slow, deep breathing, okay? Breath practices can help with reducing stress. Making sure you do time management, where you plan to get to events early so you're not stressed out trying to find a parking space or running trying to figure out where you're supposed to be, or breathing and sweating once you rush into the event where your mind's not really right, okay? Practice good time management. Keep things to-do lists and try to organize your life. That's something that can help to reduce your stress as well. At any rate, managing your stress and getting proper amounts of sleep. Hey, that's another tip for maintaining good cholesterol numbers. So these are some of the ways to improve your cholesterol numbers, and the list is not exhaustive. There are more lifestyle modifications that can help. Remember, you absolutely want to consult with your physician, because depending on what your numbers are, your physician may want you to have a medication like a statin, which can help to reduce your cholesterol and help to prevent cardiovascular disease. Also, there are some cases when even when you're doing all the lifestyle modifications, you may be someone who has a genetic predisposition to high cholesterol. You may have FH, or familial hypercholesterolemia. Consult with your physician and ask about your family history. When dealing with cholesterol, you want to be proactive. Consult with your primary physician and find out when you should first get your cholesterol numbers checked. Even if the cholesterol is not very high, you want to make sure that you implement some of these lifestyle modifications so that you prevent having high cholesterol, and you can help to prevent heart disease, prevent strokes, prevent having poor circulation, which could lead to amputations. For more details on how cholesterol works in your body, be sure to watch my video on Cholesterol Explained. If you found this video to be helpful and informative, be sure to like it and to share it with the people you care about. As always, I appreciate you for watching. I appreciate your support, and I want you to do your best to live your healthiest, happiest life. I'm Dr. Frita.